very first stream was like for 4.5 hours, and at this point, I haven't gone completely shit show yet, but I was getting pretty wasted, and all of us were getting deliriously, you know, just mind numb from all the crazy shit being said in these documentaries. This is a really good one. I hope you enjoy it a lot. There will probably be one more out of the very first stream coming out soon. So yeah, enjoy. And don't forget, Loots for Africa.
Corral, which is where they would put their animals after they domesticated them. Europeans let them animals run all up and down. This is where the German measles come from. This is where chicken pox comes from.
Okay, that's actually not what a corral is. Sorry, farm knowledge. Sorry, that's not what a corral is. That's just called it's called a pasture. You put your animals that you want to graze and just hang out in a pasture. A corral is a place where you gather all your animals because you're prepared to sell them or ride your horse, or it's a controlled space, okay? Yeah. That's not what a corral is. I hate it when people get the terminology wrong. It's just like don't do that.
The Europeans, they're just letting them chickens run all over the goddamn place.
They're just letting their animals do whatever the heck they want to.
Can you imagine? Jesus, can you
like
imagine?
Cow, get back in the pasture, and the cow's like, "Woo, F you, I don't feel like doing it."
Can you imagine having cows inside your house? Can you imagine that shit?
That's what it was like crazy white people before the blacks came. We just let the cows poop all over the house.
Holy shit! You're like fucking with your wife, and there's a cow.
Because they knew that there were places there under the ice that they could actually inhabit and hide.
No, he did not just say that. There's apparently safe havens inside the ice of Antarctica where people of the oppressed
a bunch of Africans who are used to hot weather and barely wore clothes were able to determine the temperature of Antarctica and go to Antarctica and survive.
And they're still there.
Right.
They're hidden under the ice.
For a fact that the first Umayyad and Abbasid dynasty, we know they were black. We know that they were what we call Arabs, but there's no such thing as an Arab.
All right,
Arabs don't exist. Look at the shit-eating grin on his face. God.
What are you doing?
Rain? What are you talking about rain? Black people make it rain.
And he brought in a quarterphone known as the lute, L''O''U''D. We call it lute, L-U-T-E. It's a quarterphone. And it has 4 chords.
Yeah.
And, you know, the hormones of the body, the humors, Africans would heal people when you had clogs in your liquid systems, okay? Whether it was your mucus
what?
or
Wait,
whether
your
it was
what?
Your liquid systems.
What's a liquid system?
Clogs in the liquid system.
What is this? Wait, explain this bullshit.
I got a clog in my
When you-
liquid system.
I just looked it up. He's partially correct though. The loot was
Okay.
given by the Moors, so he's partially correct. So
Okay.
so far.
Hormones, whether it was your phlegm, whether it was your blood, whatever was clogged up, what they do is that they would put this cordophone over your body and they would strum, right? And in strumming, the vibration of the string would open up whatever was clogged. Okay? Ziriad
You're-
in his brain.
He's basically saying, hey, look at this pseudoscience that doesn't exist, but they were healing people. Huh? Yay, Africans.
I bet you he goes to the doctor. I bet he doesn't go to a loot guy and has the thing strummed over his head. I bet you he goes to the doctor. I bet you he has Obamacare. He has insurance.
Fucking asshole.
If he believed in this, he'd have an African medicine man a couple miles away. But I bet you he has insurance.
Like this dude is using this, you know this bullshit theory about the humors, the 4 humors.
Oh yeah,
that he
yeah,
had.
yeah.
He's basically saying, hey, this whole humors thing, it was real, and Moors heal people like this. No,
Funny
it's
thing.
not.
Funny thing, they actually had a debate in Africa. They had a debate where the students were upset that science didn't include African wizardry.
Yeah, I saw that video.
Yeah, they said
Yeah.
that African tribalist or some African voodoo guy, that it's true that they send lightning bolts to people, and they said science is racist because they don't include the lightning bolt
We have to
attack.
get rid of
Science.
science entirely.
Right.
Science is racist.
Oh my god.
Science is racist because it won't acknowledge my superstitions.
Obviously.
If that's
string.
correct.
And his 5th string was for plasma, which is invisible liquid, which is the origin of the universe. And this just healed your entire system, your entire body. When you look at a piano is a harp turned sideways. That's why when you look at
Okay.
What would a piano?
baby grand
Why
piano,
are they
it's
like
shaped like a harp.
these random things like a piano? Piano's a harp turned sideways. Wow, that's really poetic. I'm glad you told me that.
I know how Jeff doesn't even react anymore. He just sitting
I
like,
know, Jeff is like, this is just.
I'm just so numb now. I'm just
Yeah.
so numb.
he's suffering inside, but he doesn't let it out.
You know what's interesting though? Is that they say that all these things, like, okay, so you know how knowledge is not taken, knowledge is sometimes given, but you can't take knowledge. So
Right.
if all of this stuff is true and all of these healing incidents happen, please somebody tell me why HIV/AIDS is the highest in Africa, why there are so many diseases in Africa, why there's so much poverty in Africa. I'm sure I'm going to hear like it's the white man's fault, but if there's so much medical knowledge and there's so much medical superstitions that supposedly work, why is there all this disease? Why does it not work?
I can answer that. It's because there's a drastic lack of loots in Africa.